5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Ignition. Liftoff.
Good evening, everyone. You are tuning in to Intuitive Projections. I am your host, Susan Gretz. If you would like to interact with my guest and I this evening, please join the Beacon of Light radio chat. It's a chat group on Facebook. It's private, so you can talk amongst yourselves. You can share experiences. You can ask questions. It's a group that's dedicated for the host and the listeners. So get on over in there. So if you have any questions, you can ask my guest, because I don't know what she's going to talk about. I have a couple of announcements before I get into the show. The first one being, don't forget to tune in next week, as I'm going to be talking about toxic relationships. That's come up quite a bit with clients, with friends, with people I know. So that was my cue from the universe that I needed to touch base on that. The second thing is I have a contest going on right now. So if you book a 30-minute reading or a 60-minute reading with me, you get your name into a bucket. At the end of the year, I'll draw the names out. You can win either a 30-minute reading, a 60-minute reading, or the 2022 Intuitive Projection Forecast. There will be 3 winners that will be drawn, one for the forecast, one for the 30-minute, and one for the 60-minute. So make sure that if you are not on the business page, to go ahead and give that a like and a follow so you can catch all of the updates and everything like that. The drawing, I will pull the winner out on live on my show, so don't miss that. Also, October is right around the corner. It's my favorite time of year. I'm dedicating the whole month of October to like the paranormal, I guess themed, paranormal themed. I will have paranormal investigators on, sharing paranormal experiences. I like to call that the Things That Go Bump in the Night series. So look forward to that and check the page for updates on that as well. All right. Now I've blabbed on long enough. Without further ado, my guest this evening is Erica Carden. Erica is an LPN with 16 years of medical experience. She is certified in multiple different skills and areas, with her most recent being an annual wellness nurse. Erica's life took a bit of a different direction as she began searching and researching the natural healing side of supplements. Her passion has been, and I'm going to say always has been, because I've known you for a little bit, to help others and to assist others, and looking for other ways to help people outside of the corporate of nursing. This is when she found Q Science. She's now an executive ambassador for this company, and she's taking a holistic approach. How do I want to word that? Like spreading awareness, giving insight, as well as sharing knowledge and experience with others. And she recently became a life planning and end-of-life doula. So everyone, please give a warm welcome to Erica to the show. Thank you for joining me this evening.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
I've been excited for this. We just been kind of waiting, and then you were out at convention, so I had to wait for you to come back. but we're here. We're in this moment.
Yes, it finally aligned. We're here.
Yes, it did. So I think I wanted to start off this evening is the whole nursing side of this. So why did you want to become a nurse and be in the medical field?
Well, I have always been someone to just nurture, to take care. It started off with animals. I always took care of animals, like literally helping them rehab themselves if they were injured. And I was going into nursing school, and then I got pregnant. And so that kind of put a halt on things for a little bit. And my mom ended up having a wreck, and I seen all the blood everywhere, and I was like, okay, nursing's not for me. And then I had an experience with my daughter, and the nurses just took care of her. They did they took care of me. They took care of my family. They did all the things that I've always wanted to do. And it just called upon me. It's just something that I've always felt. I just take care of everybody.
That is the nurturing side of you. Also, yes. The empathic side as well. We can't kick that out of the picture because that's
it's strong.
So how did you get into Q Science? How did you find it? How did you get started?
So I was an annual wellness nurse for several years for an internal doctor. And in that position, basically what I did is kind of like a well kids checkup, just making sure that you had all your labs, your annual labs, or preventative services, whatever needed to be done to make sure you're healthy. And doing that, I've just found more and more people were leaning toward all natural supplements. My daughter, that's 23, was diagnosed when she was 13 with 3 autoimmune disorders. And at that time, I was 100%, let's do everything that the doctors and nurses tell us that we're supposed to do, because I'd seen, treatments. I'd seen things help, but I was not aware. I was oblivious of some of the signs and symptoms that are elements that come along with these medications. So once she got on these, she was taking 3 shots a week. I started digging into all natural stuff because one of the side effects of the medicine was leukemia, and she was 13 years old. So the medicine had only been founded for 12 years. And my thoughts were, if in 12 years they're already finding leukemia, she's only 13. If she takes these medicines forever, what's going to be her outcome in life? So I started digging into all natural stuff. And it's just been rabbit hole after rabbit hole for years and years. And I came across a lot of good information. And then when COVID hit, I was thankfully in a position where I didn't have to work in the medical field. And so I left and came home and was able to sit with myself, which was something I've never, ever been able to do because I was a nurse. I worked 2 jobs all the time, 16-hour shifts, 12-hour shifts, whatever. And I was able to kind of sit with myself for a little while. And sometimes that's a good thing, and sometimes it's not. But it made me realize that I had a lot of underlying issues that I needed to take care of. And I happened to run across a friend that had Q Sciences. I had an ailment. I had a shoulder pain. And she gave me a sample of a cream, and I used it. And I was like, And bear in mind now, I had been praying for months for something. I didn't want to work as a nurse, of course, in the midst of COVID, but I did want to be able to help people somehow. And so I ran across this, and she taught me into signing up with her to sell it. I've never sold anything in my life. And honestly, I really, truly did not have intentions of selling it when I signed up with her. I was just being that friend that helped her out. I was going to buy the products because they worked. And so I signed up to sell Q Science. And then once I got into it, about 3 weeks later, and started looking at all the ingredients, my 10 years of research prior on all natural health and wellness supplements, I was truly able to see the value of these products. And so my whole family started taking them, and I got onto a product myself called Q-Core. And it has helped me clear out the fog in a lot of different areas of my life and got me to where I am today talking to you.
So you would say that overall these products have helped change your life in a positive way?
Absolutely. 150%.
So what is Q Science? Because I know there's going to be listeners out there that's going to be like, well, what is this? What is it? What does it consist
So
of?
it is an all natural health and wellness supplement. The company was founded in 2012, had great products, but didn't have a good marketing strategy, I guess is what you want to say. So they hired some people to come in and change the platform and to change not the products, just the compensation plan and how we market and so forth. And they launched a hemp line. And so in 2018 is when the company really kind of got on the market. But it's an all-natural health and wellness supplement nutraceutical line. It also has a hemp line. It also has a kids line, a pet line. There's a whole line for workout, for weight loss. And then we are releasing in October a terpene line, which that comes from essential oils. It's a healing property from essential oils. So it's kind of a broad, we have something for everybody. And the products are just amazing. The doctor that works for us, he's got 30 years of experience as a general practitioner. He's also a naturopath, and he was the chief editor for WebMD for 15 years. So they're just very innovative. It's amazing.
I can say that I have actually got to try some of these products.
Yes.
And they really are.
They truly are.
They really are. Without all of the side effects from everything.
Yes.
And it's kind of, I don't even know what to call it. Like sometimes, well, like the little packets that were like you put in the bottle of water.
Yes.
The calm. I forget what.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that's amazing.
It's
and
amazing,
it tastes really
especially
good.
if you're like me and you have ADHD. It kind of helps slow those neurons down to where you can actually function for the day.
That is true. And I'm like that too. I can be doing one thing and trying to concentrate on something else, and oh, look, there's a squirrel.
Yes.
And then by the time I see that squirrel, I done forgot what I was doing.
Yeah, you found a dragonfly. I do the same thing.
So I can say, and usually I'm not one to try products like that, but I trust you.
Right.
And I trust everything that you said. I trust your feedback on it. So I was like, well, I'm going to try these then.
Right.
and they do work.
Well, being a nurse, I mean, people that I went to high school with that I don't even talk to, they still message me in my inbox. Hey, I know you're a nurse. I've got blah, blah, blah going on. Can you give me advice? So I know people actually kind of listen and take my advice. So I would not put my name behind it if I was not 100% guaranteed that it works. And I know it's not going to make anybody sick. So.
And I love that. Yes. Because nowadays you take one thing for one ailment and then you have to take something to kind of
exactly
keep
that problem.
Yeah. And then the side effects from that. And then you have to take a pill for those side effects. And then there's always something.
That is what so many of my patients were doing. They were realizing that they were taking a prescription drug and then it was causing a different side effect that they would have to take a new drug with. And so more and more people were leaning toward all natural. And then like my kids' generation, they're in their 20s. I call them the late bloomer, kind of happy, hippie, tree hugger. Because they're all into all natural stuff. I love it. It's amazing. I'm so glad that generation's coming back around. But they're really into all natural and taking care of themselves and, eating healthy. So it's kind of, I don't know, it's just going right now. It's a good place to be right now.
It is. And it's such a wide range of things. I mean, not just for, no, look, a squirrel.
Right.
not just your supplements and things like that, but anything holistic wise.
Yes, and like our main vitamin that we have, it has 33 outside clinical trial studies done on it for things as in depression, anxiety, ADHD, bipolar, explosive behavior disorder, autism. There's 33 clinical trials, and I've read every one of them. I have my hands on them. But I'm a research guru. I'm a science nerd. I can't help it. But I mean, there's 33, and so that just tells you that don't happen. You don't have 33 different people trying out different vitamins to see how they work. I mean, that just doesn't happen.
That is true. And then, like you said, I want to hear.
Yeah.
If someone has something new that they've learned when it comes to something like this, I want to hear it.
Right.
Like,
Me too.
Show me how it works. Let me know what's going on here, because I need to know.
Well, since you say that, I mean, like our hemple is like the top in the industry. We have a new technology. It's called a biosync technology. And basically what it is they're able to go and pick exactly which terpenes, which whatever they want to use in their hemple. And so whereas, say, for instance, you get a pretty good hemple from somewhere, you're only going to absorb at best 45 to 50%. Our hemple is a 90% absorption rate. You feel it immediately. And so, I mean, they're just very innovative. This company is on top of everything. And there was actually a third-party little article written about us, and it said in there, if you are wanting a company to grow with and to make money, Q Science is the place to be, because it's just exploding right now, and nobody can touch us. Nobody can match what we're doing right now, and I love it.
And I love it. The next thing that I wanted to touch base on is kind of where all of this started. I'm a firm believer that we build everything from the ground up. And I feel like that everything that's happening now has stemmed from you building yourself back up after a huge personal loss. Can you tell everyone about that?
Yeah, sure. So when I was 18, I had my first daughter on December the 13th. And sorry, I kind of get emotional sometimes. But she passed away on December the 24th from a rare genetic disease called glutaric acidemia type 2. At the time, the disease had been found for 10 years, and there were only 500 cases of it in the United States. And it's still a very, very rare disorder, the type that she had. But I was 18. And so my peers, nobody knew how to deal with me being 18 and losing a child. I mean, it didn't happen a lot back then. And people my age didn't know how to handle it. And so I kind of shut all of this off. And for years, I never talked about Marissa. If I did, nobody, like I never let anybody bring her up around me. If I wanted to talk about her, I did. Very rarely could I talk to her. I could not even muster up the strength to talk about it. I suppressed every bit of that into my life. And so back when I quit my job and I was able to sit with myself for a while and get to know myself, that's when I realized I had to start a health and wellness journey. And this was I'd actually decided this before I found Q Science. Q Science just happened to be the vessel to help me get there. And so I started doing different things. I started meditating. I started reaching out to people for assistance, people as in yourself, to help with life coaching and to just help with different things in general. And then I found Q Science and was able, with these supplements, that was like the key, the fuel to my health and wellness journey, because it actually got me to the point to where I was able to clear out all the fog that was going on and the denial, and honestly, truly process my grief, because I think for 25 years, I was never able to process that.
Is this why you chose to become a doula?
It is exactly why I chose to become a doula, because we're all going to die. And death is a very taboo topic. And I know this personally because I didn't want to talk about it. Now, I could sit with my patients and their families and I could discuss death with them. I was a hospice nurse for a while as well. But when it comes to my personal stuff, I didn't want to talk about it. And if you mentioned it to people, nobody ever wants to talk about death. They're like, we don't want to think about that now. But everybody does need to think about it because it's going to happen. And so I become a doula to hopefully help assist people in not only living their best life through holistic means, showing them that there are other options for healing. And it's not just through supplementation. It is through meditation. It's through Reiki healing, through different things that we could offer people to help them with their transition, but also to be the support and help support the family members after they've transitioned. Because that's, to me, that's the part that people they have a hard time with. It's the getting over the dying, the person that's left. What do they do now? Where do they go? What kind of resources do they have? What options do they have? So that is wholeheartedly why I become a doula, was to help assist people with that transition.
Do you feel like that this is also helping you heal from your own loss?
100%, and is energy healing for myself. Yes, I do believe that. And the more I talk about it, the easier it becomes. But, I've always knew that I've never felt like Marissa died in vain. And I always used to think that I had the answers as to why she passed. We all try to make logic of things. And I always thought I knew the reason for that until recently. And I mean, I feel like I'm here for a reason. I need to tell her story. And there are people out there that are suffering and going through the things that I was going through, and they're doing it silently. And so it's putting blocks on their lives, and it's causing a lot of, inner chaos that they're not discussing with other people. So I just hope that if I tell my story, it will touch just one mom or grandmother or whomever, and they will know that they're not alone, and they know that they have somebody that they can reach out to.
I agree. And that, it did come up in coaching sessions as well. Mm-hmm. I think you said something about you didn't realize how loss can create such blocks within your life. And well, it come up quite a bit. Yeah. And I knew, I think I was seeing it before I even knew what had happened, if I can remember right. Is that, like, I didn't know exactly what was going on. I just knew that there was something there that was emotional and it was causing blocks.
Yes.
And then we've discussed it before. So I know it's difficult. I know it's a difficult thing to talk about, but I can say that just from hearing you talk about it now, then from when you've talked about it before, it feels a lot lighter. And I don't mean to sound, harsh in any way, like that's not important or anything like that. I just mean that
my energy around it is lighter.
Yes.
I feel that 100%. Yes. I agree with that. Because used to, it was just so gloomy, it was so sad. And that's the emotions and the feelings that brought up when I talked about it. And it's still gloomy and it's still sad. But now I'm looking more forward to being able to use her platform to help other people. So yeah, it does bring a lighter aurora with it.
Now, can you explain to everyone what a doula is exactly?
Yeah, so what I got certified, I have a NETA certification in Prophecy Badge. I am a companion life planning end-of-life doula. So I actually have 3 different titles that I can work with. And basically what a doula is, it's a holistic approach to dying. We can come in, even if you're healthy, I can still come in and help you understand like advanced directives and living wills and just help you get those papers in order. You can change those at any time, and it's actually free, and I can show you how to do that. But it's also like if you need, if somebody has been diagnosed with a terminal illness and they're needing assistance at home, I can come in. Basically, we sit down and do an interview, and I see where your points are that you need, where you need help. Even if it's meal planning for you, if you're living alone and it's coming in and just helping you meal plan, I just come in and help make your transition easier. for while you're here. And then I can also help you do your legacy project. You still have the final say when you go, so it's just a matter of everything. Also coming in and teaching you about supplements. I'm not going to push my ways on anybody, but I am going to offer education to different gifts of knowledge and skills and things that I know personally that help with certain ailments or what have you. But just trying to help what time you have here. Number one, be stressful. Not stressful, excuse me. And then number two, helping your family and friends be able to accept that this is your diagnosis and you're going to die, and being able to accept that to where when that transition happens, it's not such a sad moment. It's more of a celebration of life.
Yeah, I for one, when my mom died, my sister and my brothers and I were all a complete mess. We didn't have someone to sit with us and explain all of this stuff. It's right. Just, it got to a point where she had to have hospice come in, and then, they helped with medication and things like that. And right. That's pretty much the extent of it. No one sat down with us and asked us if she had a will or what we were going to do, when she passed or anything like that. So we all were expecting it. We knew it was happening, but nothing prepared us for it.
For when it happened. Yeah. And that's basically what I do. And, we come in, I talk about, do you want to be cremated? Do you want a burial? Do you want a regular burial? Do you want a green burial? There's different, do you want to donate your body to science? A lot of people never have even thought about some of these things. People don't know that you can donate your body to science if you want to be cremated, and it costs absolutely nothing. And then you get the remains back. Your family gets your remains back. So you can donate your body to science, help the scientific world, and then get the ashes back, and it doesn't cost your family a dime. So, there's just so many different things out there, and that's what I want to do. I just want to educate people on the options that they have in life.
Yeah, I've been in multiple situations where I could have used a doula.
Right.
To be honest.
We all could. Honestly, I never even knew that. I've been in the medical field for 16 years. I was a hospice nurse. I was a continuous time care nurse, which basically means I came in the last expected 72 hours and sat bedside with the patient and their family. And, just was there for comfort and administer medicines and vitals or what have you. But I'd never heard of a doula until I started doing my energy healing for myself. And I ran across this, and I don't believe in coincidences. I think everything just kind of comes to you for alignment in your life, the good and the bad. And it just happened to pop across one of my social media platforms, and I looked into it and I couldn't shake it. It just kept calling me. I knew I had to do this. So, the universe didn't give me any options with it.
That's when you know it's for you, when the universe is like, here, this is it. Yep. You can try and turn away from it, but I'm gonna keep placing it on your path.
Yes, and that's exactly what happened. So.
And I think, if I remember, it was before that, and this was before you had told me that that's something you were going to be doing in one of the sessions. I told you something new was coming in, and you were like, it's funny that you mentioned that, because, and then you started explaining the whole doula program.
Well, one of our sessions that we had before I ever even knew about the doula program, you told me that I was going to be involved. You said it's going to be like a school, but it's not school. I don't know what it is, but you're going to be adding something in there. That was months ago before I ever even knew anything about the doula program. Yes.
Will you be combining Q Science with your doula certification in some way?
Well, I offer Q Science to everybody that'll listen to me, because the products are great and I want everybody on it. So yes, I will be combining the two together. But, if I wasn't telling people about it, I wouldn't be doing my job. So I talk to everybody about it. So my patients, my clients, they'll know about Q Science. It'll be their option as to whether or not they want to use it. But yes, I will be including all of that together.
Well, that kind of goes in with the whole life planning. I don't
Yeah.
feel like it's just closed off to like right before you're going to pass or anything like that. So I do feel like you can include that in there because living is important too.
Yeah, well, and that's why I chose the life planning title more so because, like I said, you're never too young to start a living will, especially if you have a family. You're never too young to start implementing those things into place. And so I'm wanting to reach out and help anybody, even people that are healthy, get their life together, get their wills together, get their what they want when they do pass, what their wishes are, get all that out so that their family is aware of it, and just help the transition. And so part of that, yeah, is going to be, I have these greens that I can give you that's going to help you live a longer life. Yes, I'm going to offer that. So that's just part of it.
Now, the other day, I had someone, I forget what we were talking about, like in general, but it got brought up with living wills and things like that. And they was like, well, I don't need this stuff right now. I'm healthy. And I'm like, but you're going to die. Someday we all die.
And accidents happen every day. I mean, you never know. You never know what's going to happen. A living will is always a good thing to have in place, especially if you are firm as to what you want. If you want to be an organ donor, or if you want to be on life support, or if you don't want to be on life support. And, and part of those living wills, you can go in and write, like if you say, for instance, you don't want to be put on life support, you can go in there and put, I agree to be put on life support times 30 days to see where my status is at. And then I will allow my proxy to make the decision from there. So, I mean, it's not just black and white. You're not putting a sentence on what you want in life. You can leave it open. So, and that's just part of the things that I want to teach people, because it does make things a lot easier for your family when you have all these things already in order. And that's one less thing they have to worry about when that time comes.
That is true. It really is. I mean, when my dad died, my mom tried to do all of these things herself. And of course, she involved all of us kids on everything, but, we didn't know either. Right. So we were just doing the best that we could. And then I remember sitting down when Mom died, and my brothers and my sister, we was at the funeral home, we was in this room, and we were talking about things, and all of us sat there with these blank looks on our faces. Mm-hmm. I mean, it wasn't just, like I said, the loss and the grief, but it's everything else that happens that we had to figure out.
And you don't think about it, and that's like your obituary, like your parents' obituary. Some of us, like my dad's passed away, my grandmom's passed away. It's just my granddad. I had to get him to sit down with me and fill out the things that would be on his obituary, because I didn't know his parents' names, the whole names. I'm not the only person in the world that's like that. Some of us don't know that. And so when they die and you're sitting there trying to fill out the obituary, if you don't know, I mean, that's another struggle. That's another stressor. I mean, it's just little things you don't think about.
That is true. It really is. So is there a holistic approach to both of these with the Q science, and which you touched a little bit on that, but with the Q science and the doula, is that
Absolutely. So the doula program, doulas are considered non-medical personnel. I have a nursing license, and I can utilize that if I want to. I just have to, you can carry your own insurance for that, but you don't have to be a nurse or anybody to become a doula. You can become certified, and we need more. So if there's anybody out there that's interested in that, please reach out to me, because we need more doulas. I don't teach the program, but I can get you connected to somebody that does. But it's 100% holistic. Now, there's still hospice. We just kind of work sideline with the hospice companies. More and more hospice are actually hiring doulas to come into their practice, But other than the hospice, you can still take your medications. It's still considered holistic, but you still can take your options from your regular primary care doctor as well. I just kind of come in and show you green ways of living, green ways of funeral planning. I guess you kind of want to say, honestly, a bit of a less expensive way to handle things, and just different options out there. But it's 100% holistic, both ends of it.
What are your goals with Q Science?
So Q Science is amazing, and there's a huge business opportunity out there. So if there's any moms or anybody that's at home, wants to work from home, this is a great place to be. But my goal with Q Science is mainly just to help people, whether that be financially with their health, with getting them as a business partner, or whether it be helping them with just their physical health with the supplements that I offer. That's my main goal, is just to help people in some way.
What are your goals with the doula aspect of your business?
So I'm actually working on a program right now. There's these, I don't know if you've ever heard of it, but it's called death cafes. And a guy started this a long time ago, and he's actually passed away now. But you can host death cafes. And so my main goal with being a doula is to, number one, get death a topic of family conversations to where it's not taboo and people are not so terrified of it, especially in today's times with everything that's going on with the world. I feel like now is probably the best time to try to get this topic out in the forefront of families, but also to just show people a healthy way of living and a different way of living, and just letting them know that, there are alternative ways to doing things, and there are always options. You always have an option.
Do you have any events planned in the near future?
Actually, I have an event on September the 18th that me and my best friend are setting up for my holistic. It's a local event here, just to get my newsletter out to people, because people don't know what a doula is. That's doula. I didn't know either. And then, I also make attention candles and different things, healing candles and so forth. We're going to have things like that out, but I don't have a death cafe event yet. I'm hoping to have one by October. That is going to be hopefully a local and an online event, so I can hit both audiences with it. So
I've never heard of that until you mentioned it. That's new to me.
Well, there's actually a Facebook page called the Death Cafe that you can go on there and look it up. And it basically all over the world, people host these little death cafes. And all it is you come in and you talk about death. There's no sales there. Like those nights, I will not be selling Q Science through that stuff. This is just mainly a support group, a non-therapeutic, because I'm not a therapist, licensed therapist, but it's just to talk about death and, let people express themselves and talk about things that's going on with them and see where it goes. I mean, I've never heard of one either until I started researching all this stuff. So it's pretty amazing, all the different resources that are out there.
What can people expect if they reach out to you as a doula?
I would like to just do a call with them and get to know exactly what it is that they're looking for. And then, I will offer different packages, I guess is what you want to say. Everything will be contoured to that person. So, or you can just reach out to me and have a shoulder to lean on if you need that as well.
Where would you like to see yourself long-term in both of these aspects?
To be quite honest with you, I would love to see myself in a storefront somewhere offering all these services for people to walk into. That's what my long-term goal is. That's my 5-year plan. So I'm not going to stop until I get there.
There you go. Well, see, I love it already. And I love how most people would not put a time frame on there, but when you give yourself a time frame like that it's right.
Yes.
I mean, you're already putting everything into motion. You've got events coming in and things like that. So I love it. I love watching you grow and evolve with all of this. Like, I just kind of sit back and I watch, and then
Well, I have to give you a lot of credit for this evolving, because you've helped me out in so many ways. So I'm sure I'm not the only person on here that can say that about you. So, you have been, you've you've been my lifeline a few times in life. So,
well, see, now that's me doing what I was meant to do.
right, and you're very, very good at it. So,
Well, thank you. If anyone is wanting to reach out to you for any one of your services, if it's info about Q Science or doula, or just wanting to talk with you, about their loss or grieving or anything like that, how can people get in touch with you?
I have a Facebook group. It is a public group. So you can just go on there and join. It's called Erica Carden, the Life Planning Doula. And then I didn't mention this, but I'm also in the process of opening up a grieving parents group as well, just because, we all grieve. And I know grandparents raise children, and aunts and uncles are close, but it's different when it's a parent that loses a child. And so I'm doing a private group with that as well. So, but you can find me on Erica Carden, the Life Planning Doula public group.
Well, I love it. And the group, I'm actually in the group. Things you post is things that it's uplifting, and it's, it kind of lets people know that they're not alone.
Right.
That we're all, it's like we're all in this together. We all deal with this at some point. And it's comforting to know that there's someone there that's had a similar experience, or, similar feelings with things. And it's just nice to have that in there.
Right.
Back in the day, we didn't have, I say back in the day, like I'm old as all get out. But back in the day,
we didn't have these resources. We didn't.
No,
we didn't. You had to figure it out on your own. And that sometimes left people like me that didn't want to go figure it out on their own. So they suppressed everything and lived this life of, everybody thinks I've got my crap together, but on the inside, I'm about to die. And, it's funny that I say that. One time when I first started doing Q Science, one of the girls that signed up with me, I was talking to her and I was just being myself. You know me. And she was like, God, when I look at you on Facebook, you just look like you got your, excuse me, but she's like, you just look like you got your shit together. And I'm like, oh, that I'm doing this wrong, because I don't have my stuff together. I need people to see the real me. I don't have it all together. I'm just doing the best I can, like everybody else,
I love it. Of course, I don't have my shit together either, so
yeah, who does?
So that makes two of us.
Who really does have it all together,
If there's someone out there, I haven't met him yet.
Me either. And I know some pretty amazing people, so.
Well, I want to thank you for being on. We are cutting the show a little bit short tonight because Erica actually has a class to get to here in just a few moments. But I thank you so much for being on, and I'm glad that we got to do the show this evening and talk about all of this amazing stuff and your journey and everything like that. It's been amazing.
Well, thank you so much for having me. I like to talk, so I'll do it anytime you want to do it.
Did you have anything that you wanted to add for the listeners out there?
No, I just want to tell somebody out there that, hold on. Apparently I'm meant to say this for some reason, but just know that you are not alone in your battles, and there are people out there that want to reach out and they want to help you for nothing more than to just be a friend. And so don't be scared to reach out because you don't think somebody's going to understand your situation, because there are people that do. So just do it and know that there are alternative ways to dealing with things, and you're not in this fight alone.
Oh, you got a little choked up there.
Me too. Sorry.
I did it because you were doing it.
Sorry. I cry all the time. I can't help it.
Well, you said that someone needed that message out there. I agree. I think you needed to hear it too. So there's a reason for everything. So you can go back and you can play this again and listen to the message you just gave.
Yes, ma'am. I will do that.
And thank you again for being on. Again, if anyone would like to reach out to Erica, you can join her group, or can people message you on Facebook?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, that's just in case they can't find your group.
Yeah, they can. It's Eric. My name is Erica Lovelady Carden on Facebook. They can reach out to me that way as well.
Again, thank you for being on, and I will probably actually have you on in the future because I got a feeling there's some other stuff coming in for you.
I have a feeling too. So, okay, I'm ready when you are.
So we'll just let that unfold because I was actually feeling that as you were talking earlier.
Awesome.
So I'm like,
I love when you get that feeling. I love that energy.
So I'm excited to see where that's going.
Me too.
But again, thank you for joining me. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your evening and your weekend. Of course, we talk all the time, so that's not.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for everyone else, have a wonderful evening, weekend. Stay safe. It's chilly out right now, so stay warm.
Yes, I love it.
Of course, you're in the Bahamas, then stay cool. But again, have a wonderful evening, weekend, and I will see everyone back here next Friday. Talk to everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.